Remember the moment shared in my last video where I literally tore off the passport envelope to just see the stamp on my passport? The PR stamp, to be eligible to land and start staying in this amazing country, Canada. I knew that time is crucial and I need to make most of my opportunity presented to me. So quickly started planning my trip, and I had a choice to go before or after my marriage, which was planned in January 2020. There was a big call, but what I researched and what I understood to be a best fit in our case was to at least get my visa stamped first, since it had come ready and waiting for me to step on this amazing country. Got my tickets booked, packed up, kept it light. However, enough for a good 25 days trip to a country which is a good 7,600 plus miles away from my home, India. After a stopover at Hong Kong airport, amidst all the clashes in the city, found my way for a good half a day sightseeing, as I had more than 10 plus hours of halt. Great city and amazingly lit at night. The flight was comfortable, and after a good 20 hours of travel, finally had my moment. Landing in Vancouver. I was literally awestruck and super excited to get down from the flight and have my touchdown moment in the city. Quickly got going, and after getting fresh, headed directly to the immigration department. The country is known to get many immigrants on a daily basis, and hence arrangements are superbly made to make us feel completely at home the moment we land at the airport. There are these non-profit organizations who literally welcome you, orient you, give you hampers and necessary brochures that makes your landing experience one of the best and instantly connects and makes you feel completely at home. After a long wait, finally my turn came with the immigration officer to stamp my COPR, the confirmation of PR document. And that's it. Officially a permanent resident of the second largest country of the world, Canada. I was literally so ecstatic that you won't believe I had left off my file of passport and other documents on the trolley and left taking the SkyTrain to the city. I had these painful moments of truth when I realized the same and returned with the hope that someone must have picked it up and returned to the lost and found inside the airport. As soon as I landed at the SkyTrain station, I crazily started looking for the trolley that I had left my belongings in, and my utter disappointment, it was empty. Started trembling and somehow managed to reach the lost and found counter, and somewhere from a distance thought that I could see the file which was kept in the rack. Quickly reached out to this lady and literally cried to see it lying with her. I even remember asking her to give me some details of the angel who returned it here to thank that human being. But to my disappointment, she said that they don't store details of individuals returning things. I thanked her wholeheartedly and could not literally stop my tears from flowing. I was so relieved, as the file had all my documents of existence. Passport, the copy of the recently signed COPR, a document that we need to preserve till we get citizenship, and other important things. Finally, took the SkyTrain back and checked in. After such a crazy start to my Canadian journey, Right from the airport, the city started amazing me from day one morning. I was so awestruck with the beautiful roads, the cute bungalows, the gushing of the cars around, and everything. I used to walk and explore the city to the fullest, but the climate and the cold used to literally take its toll on my numb hands at times. Although Vancouver is known to have a moderate climate, the under 10 degrees centigrade for us as Indians is something to be trembling upon, right? I love the scenic conditions of the country. Love the parks, the riverfronts, the roads, literally everything. The initial few days just went me exploring each and every corner of the main downtown, the shopping malls, the supermarkets, etc. Just to figure out in complete depth regarding what all is available and what is not. Before landing in Canada, I had made attempts to reach out to locals through my Rotary Club network. And to my surprise and delight, everyone that I had written to replied within 48 hours with an open arm, inviting me to their meetings. I literally had a difficult time to actually schedule my days, as sometimes some meetings clashed with one another and I had to let go one due to the time clashes. Also, being Christmas time, I was royally welcomed and treated in all the meetings and literally made to feel one amongst them completely. I was given platforms to speak, share Indian diaries, Indian culture, and more about our Indian way of living. Literally everyone was so intrigued by our Indian culture and way of life, and everyone promised to visit my country at least once in their lifetime if they hadn't yet. Could meet more than 40 plus well-established Rotarians and individuals in a country where I landed just weeks ago. Must really thank my Rotary network for this amazing opportunity and indebted completely for all the exposure. After such positive days in the city, I kept visiting offices and places where I could learn more and more about the opportunities immigrants have in this beautiful country. After several visits to many such non-profit organizations, I visited the Success office in the main town of Vancouver and was browsing and clicking photos of all the posters which had some amazing opportunities for newcomers like me. It may have been barely 5 minutes that I had turned my back to my bag which I had kept on a chair, and to my utter surprise, when I turned around, it wasn't there. The bag had everything, right from my passport, COPR, laptop, important contacts, and whatnot. I turned completely cold feet and started running helter-skelter in the government office, asking for help. Started screaming literally for help. The staff in the office calmed me down and gave me a glass of water. They started doing their bit and firstly called the police to register a complaint regarding the robbery. I was guided and gave out all the information that they asked for, begging literally for help and support to get my precious belongings back. Also, the office staff took out the CCTV footage, and what I saw was really shocking. The person masked himself, put on my backpack very comfortably on his shoulders, and slowly walked off in the 5 minutes when I had turned my back to the chair. I was devastated, and more so when the police informed me that they can hardly do anything as the face of the robber was not visible. They could not allocate their resources on such cases where they cannot see the face. I left with such a heavy heart and still to figure out in my head what all I have lost. I was literally walking in the rains, not knowing what to do next. Somehow gathered some courage and started accepting the reality slowly. Got great help and support from Rotarians who I had met in the Rotary meetings, and literally everyone was ready to volunteer to donate all through one call made by Lakshmi to them that I was in trouble. Loved this human gesture and was really touched. Slowly that evening, gathered myself back and accepted that I had lost some papers, documents, gadgets, but not my life. I can build all of these, but thankfully, I was not hurt in this robbery. That calmed me, and I was reassured that I will get back strongly. Started figuring out how and what needs to be done for me to get my passport. Wrote to the Indian Embassy in Vancouver, visited them, and completed all the formalities. I opted for the white passport, which is a one-time travel document to return to my home country. Went back to the landing airport and requested them for a copy of my COPR, and they readily provided a photocopy of the same. I was relieved. Slowly things started getting normal, and I got back to meeting more amazing people in Vancouver, and also got invited to some Christmas parties where I literally had a ball of a time. Finally the day came, and I was to return home on 31st December 2019. And I was so relieved to be able to finally go home after such a highly intensive 25 days of my stay in Canada. As luck would have had it, and to my complete surprise, Air Canada refused my boarding. I was having a Shanghai stopover, and the reason I was given was that since I had a travel passport which only entitles me to travel back to my home country, and since immigration rules in China are super strict, I wouldn't be able to stop over at Shanghai airport. I tried to get in touch with the top officials in Vancouver airport, but to no avail. I was not given to board. Had to take a call and also tried contacting Indian Embassy, but to no avail. As I was desperate to return home then, there was one direct flight to New Delhi that night itself. Had to shell off another 1 lakh, but booked the second last remaining ticket on the flight and waited for a good 12 hours at the airport, just recollecting my thoughts on the entire roller coaster trip. This soft landing trip was nothing more than an adventure and a complete roller coaster ride for me, right from landing at the Vancouver airport till I left on that Air Canada flight to New Delhi. Having taught life lessons these 25 days, what I take back with me is only learnings, positive learnings, and how I could get through some of the toughest days of my life and come out triumphs. I truly dedicate this to all those kind human souls who were there with me through this journey and made it possible for me. Having gone through so much, I'm surely aware and more knowledgeable now of all the processes involved in Canada, right from lost and found center at the airport, police department on how to lodge complaints, get the police report copy, get to the embassy, file for a passport, and whatnot. I wouldn't wish any of the negatives happen to any of you. But if it does, do reach out. And I'm sure to guide you through your tough times seamlessly, for sure, with whatever knowledge I have. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.